Hey, Shalom Markins, Rakam Akapasham, Jimmy Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chachwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video. I'm going to title this one, so-called white people are the ultimate immigrant. Right? You so-called white people are Edomites, man. Okay, you're not native anything but Edom. You're natives of Edom. Okay, you're not Native American or English, or you're not really any of these things. You're not really Roman, even though you had your empire, you wasn't, the original uh, Greeks and things of this nature, right? You're nothing but a culture vulture, okay, that have stolen all these people's lands and identities, right? Because you're running from, people recognizing you, right? Identifying you as the devil the Bible speaks about, right? This is why you're quick to name yourself all these different places that you go to. Take the names of other people's civilizations, lands, right? Because you want to be everything but who you really are. Okay, which you are Edomites. That's who you truly are, right? But because you're this criminal on the planet and you don't want no one recognizing you or identifying you, you'll give yourself every name that you can think of, to make it seem like that these lands belong to you and that you're the natural inhabitants of the earth. When you ain't. You man should go back to Edom, the land of Edom. That's what you should do, right? But you ain't gonna do that, right? You got nothing but thieves on the earth, and the Lord is gonna punish you for all the wickedness that you've wrought in this place, man. Right? The Lord gave every nation, every people a land, right? And you went going around stealing everybody's, right? The land don't belong to you. Okay, you have no business, no right in taking it, right? You have no business going over to Americas and killing people, i.e. the Native Americans, who you call the Native Americans, right? Because they are native to that land, but they were Israelites. They weren't Americans. They didn't call that land America, you know? But they were the Israelites that you went over there and destroyed. And now you're calling yourself American, like you was, you originated from there. You didn't originate. You bunch of, hey, before that you was claiming to be Europeans, right? But again, you don't really belong in Europe. That's not really your home. Okay, the Japhetic people were in the lands of Europe, man. The Etruscans and the Picts, right? They were up in these different places before you so-called white people got up here in Europe. And although that was a long time ago, before you drove them out, you've been up in Europe a long time. It's true. But you don't originate from Europe. Like I said, you all originate from the land of Edom. Okay, the land of the wicked, right? So let's just get into the scriptures, right? This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5 or verse 4, right? It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him." Right? These men are proud because they have the world in their hands right now. They've gone over to all these lands and conquered all these nations, right? Taking on all these identities and taking the wealth of all these different places, right? They've become proud enough to believe that these men are natives to all these different lands that they dwell in. Okay, which is simply not true. Lies. Okay, that they fed you people out there, right? This is not where you originate from. You didn't originate from Europe. All right. It says the soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith, or by his faith, right? So yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, okay, which is philosophy, his way of living, right? He is a proud man, right? Neither keepeth at home. Where is your home? Not in America, not in Europe, not in South Africa, not in Australia, right? It's the land of Edom. That is your home. That is the land the Lord gave to you and your people. All right? But you ain't there. Why ain't you there? Because you don't want to be there. You want to be everything but an Edomite, man. And you know, this is proven to be true. Anytime Esau is brought up into the discussion, it's not the so-called white man. No. Always been destroyed. But it's everybody, it could be anybody else, but not him. Even though he fits the description. You know, like you devil cops. Right, you know, you come to, I don't blame you sometimes, man, because Jake be bookie out here, just suspect as hell. But, you know, when it's happened to me, you know, oh, you fit a description, they pull you over or whatever, oh, you know, we heard that there's a car, you know, same color, make, matches your description, you know, same person, whatever, matches your description. Well, it's like that, even though they falsify their thing, but like, when you read through the scriptures, man, there's indications or markers that you can identify who's who in the scriptures. And you so-called white people fit every fucking ticket of being Esau, being the Edomites. But no, it's not you. It's the Arabs or someone else, somebody else, go anybody else, right? No, you do this because you don't want to be identified as the devil. You don't want to be identified as Esau, the one the Most High hates. The people who the Most High hates, who he's going to destroy. Yeah, I don't blame you. You don't want to be identified as them. That's fine. We get it. Okay, but that's just the truth. Right? Because you fit all the indicators, man. And you know, you can't deny it. You can run, but you can't hide it. Because everything you do proves to be true. All right, so yeah, because he transgressive by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. It's you that's going around conquering the whole earth. You know, you've amassed an empire greater than any other nation before. You know, even bigger than Rome, right? You've gone over to the whole other side of the world and conquered the Americas, man. Now you run and own the Americas, even though you didn't, you know, you weren't birthed over there. You didn't belong over there. There were people there before you, man, got there. Columbus and then guys. Whole clans of people, whole families, for years, hundreds of thousands, if not thousands of years before you even got there. I'm not sure the timing from when the tribes went over there to when Columbus turned up, man. But there were years before you even got over there. All right. But you'll claim that, you know, we're Americans. No, you're the ultimate fucking immigrant. You know, that goes around stealing everything. You want to talk about? We get it, man. I understand too, man. You see certain of these immigrants and that they're just lounging around, fucking littering everywhere, and you know, government's just giving them shit. Yeah, I get why you Edomites are fucking angry. You know, it's uncomfortable sometimes watching, you know, degenerates. They're not all degenerates, but like, you know what I'm talking about. You got those that just litter in the street, man, doing drugs and shit. And it's like, yeah, you don't want to see that in your area, fucking up your town and shit. So I get why you might say angry, you know, but you have to look at yourself first, man. You are the ultimate fucking immigrant. You've done this around the whole entire earth, man. Okay, you've come in around us, around other nations around the earth, right, and become like a cancer unto them, man. Started stealing from them. Started killing them. Murderers. That's what you blame all these immigrants. Oh, they're murderers, they're rapists, and you know, they're thieves and all these kind of things. This is how you have made a living, man. This is how you've made a living over the whole earth. This is how you got to where you are today. Right? So you are nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. Right? And the reason why this is happening to you now, man, is because your kingdom's going down. Right? Because of its wickedness. Because it's founded on wickedness. This is why it's happening to you right now. So good. I'm glad you're upset. We're glad you're upset. Right? Because you're a damn fucking hypocrite, man. All right? It says, he who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. Right? And cannot be satisfied. You want everybody's land. You want everybody's resources. Right? No one can have their own thing. You've got to be involved somehow, some way. You got to find a way to take something from them, from others. says, but Gareth unto him all nations and hateth unto him all people, right? It's only your policies and your elite's plans that have all these people coming through, right? Because they got their own agendas, man, that are counterproductive to the average Edomite, the average so-called white person, right? Because you average so-called white people, losing all your jobs, you're becoming poor and shit, right? So it's counterproductive to you because it's not helping you. But your elites don't care about helping you, man. They're here to raise their own agendas, to crumble the society, right? They've built it up, they milked the shit out of it, right? Amassed their wealth and got their technology and all these different things that they wanted to get out of it, and now it's time to crash the system, man. And so they're doing all of this to crash the system, to bring animosity and chaos into the world, right? So they can all chip you, man. You a bunch of fucking idiots, man. You don't even understand what this is all about. So shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taught proverb against him, say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. These lands are not yours. Britain is not yours. The UK is not yours. America is not yours. Europe is not yours. Right? None of these places are yours. Australia is not yours. South Africa is not yours. Wherever you're at, it's not yours. You stole it. Killed people for it. Because you ain't in the land of Edom. You might have a few tourists and stuff there. But you don't live there. But that's yours. Why aren't you there? It says, to show that not, sorry. Yeah, woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay, which is debt, right? Your whole system is based upon debt. And you got blood debt. You got blood on your hands, right? So shall not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and await thee, wait that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Only you're going to be destroyed, and you're going to become a spoil unto the nations, man. So because thou hast spoiled many nations, right? You Edomites have spoiled many nations, correct? Or you want to say no? Well, you man are feeling so patriotic these days and so bold and proud of your white roots and your history, right? Because you're glad, Matt Walsh, you're glad the Europeans did what they did to America, and this is how America's great today, and yeah, be great, own it, innit? Own it then, innit? Right? Because the Most High is going to hold you accountable, right? Don't back out then, don't back out now, right? Own it then, when the judgment comes upon you, innit? Right? Because you're going to read it. But because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. These nations are looking at you like they want to do something to you, man. They're fed up with the hypocrisy. They're fed up with the abuse, the oppression. Right? They don't give a fuck about you and your families, man. So when it's time, okay, and chaos is running rampant in the world, in the streets and stuff like that, man. Okay, hey. They'll come after you. And I know you're going to do the same thing, so it's not like, it's all going to be one way. But best believe, man, you Edomites are not going to walk away from this. Okay, you Edomites are not going to walk away from this, man. The Most High is going to destroy you and your nations, right? And there isn't going to be a city that you're going to establish or be in control of or run. Right? You're all going to get brought down to the pits. Okay, in chains. Right? This is because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, for the blood that you shed, right? And for the violence of the land, of the city, and all that dwell therein. Right? Woe to him that converteth evil covetousness to his house, right? Because your eyes are wanton, man. You prey over others' substance. You find ways to take it because you're a covetous people. Right, so woe to him that converteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. Right, you're saying you're taking all these people's lands and their resources so you can live fat. That he may be delivered from the power of evil. Right, so you can live, in comfort, man, and not be exposed to, certain things that go on in the world. Certain judgment. war and all that kind of stuff, because you sit higher than everybody else. You got greater defense and armies and that stuff. You could repel war. Whereas these other nations who've been downtrodden, they're always at war. Partly because you're funding it, but like they're unstable. There's not been major wars in Europe and America and things like that. Because they've made their nest high. Because they're draining the resources out of all these other nations. To feed them, to feed you people. But as we know, it ain't getting spread out equally. That's why you lower level Edomites are getting upset now. So thou hast committed shame to thy house, right? By cutting off many people, and has sinned against thy soul, right? So yeah, own it. Because when the judgment comes by the Heavenly Father, man, what are you gonna tell? What are you gonna tell us then? What are you gonna tell the Most High then? You're gonna tell them how proud you are for everything that you've done. Yeah, I'm sure you won't. Right? It's Psalms 49 verse 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Right? So like I said, you go around conquering all these different places and whatever, and establishing governments and puppet governments and renaming things, and you'll take on identities of the people that are there. You got Edomites that are calling themselves South African, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? What the fuck they doing down there? You know what I mean? And so you'll take on these identities, and you'll pretend that you're one of you're a native. You ain't fucking native to nowhere but the land of Edom, man. You have no claim to nowhere in the earth except for the land of Edom. And because of your crimes, man, that's going to be taken away from you. You ain't going to have no claim to nothing in the earth when the Most High is finished. It's Genesis chapter 4 verse 12. It says, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be in the earth, right? And this is why you ain't where you're supposed to be at, because you on the run. This is why you hiding. This is why you keep changing your damn fucking names. Hey, you small hats do that more than anybody. Right? Change your damn fucking name so no one can identify you. Right? But the Spirit can always identify. The prophecy can always identify you. Right? Now, if the Lord ain't dealing with you and you don't know the prophecies, yeah, these men are ignorant, and you can play that game with them, and you can deceive them and tell them, oh yeah, we're Americans, and we're righteous, we're God's people, and this is God's land and God's army. You can do all that shit. You can deceive them because they're fucking idiots. They're ignorant and they're blind, right? But you ain't gonna do that with the elect. Right? You ain't gonna do that with the Lord's elect, man. We know exactly who you are, man, and we're gonna call you out until you're destroyed, man. Don't care what vocab says. Right? This is who you are. And prophecies fit you down to the T. Right? You and your people are going to be destroyed. Right? Damn hypocrites, right? So yeah, when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be in the earth, right? And this is why you everywhere trying to hide amongst the people, right? And get amongst the nations. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. Right? The Most High ain't trying to hear you, ain't looking for you, right? And it's the same with you Edomites. Right? You are the spiritual descendants of Cain. Right? And the Lord has no interest in you, man. Right? He got you where you are right now as a punishment unto his people, Israel, right? The Israelites. But the Most High has no interest in you, man, whatsoever. The Lord ain't hearing nothing you got to say. Right? You're nothing but filth to him. Right? So that I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Right? So you've been, from this time, the Lord has somewhat protected you, right? Not because he loves you or cares for you, man, but you have to serve a purpose in the earth, man. You can't go before your time. So you're being preserved until the last days, man. And this is why none of these nations can touch you right now. Right? None of these nations can touch you right now. Right? But it is coming to that point in time, okay, the Lord is gonna take that hedge away from you. Right? He's gonna put you under the curses, man, and all these nations are gonna touch you, man. Right? And they ain't gonna be soft with it, man. Right? When they get to you, they're gonna get to you, man, and they're gonna enjoy every moment of it because they're gonna make you suffer, as we will. Right? Because you've been an asshole in the earth, man. Right? And no one likes an asshole. Just that no one could do nothing about it right now. Right? Until the Lord, takes the hedge off you. All right? And this is why you got the power over these nations right now. But don't get twisted, man. When the opportunity comes, these nations are going to get a hold of you, man. Right? This is Micah chapter 2, verse 2. They covet fields and take them by violence, right? That's how you've lived in the earth. Right? That's how you got to be in all these different lands. That's how you got up into Europe. That's how you got into Greece, into Rome. Right? Through this violence. By displacing people. By taking over people. By, having children with these other nations. Right? Breeding it in them, right? This is what you've been doing in the earth, right? And going around conquering different lands. You go sail a fucking boat over to the other side of the world and act all peaceable, and then you turn around and slaughter them all. That's what you do because you're a damn fucking snake. Right? So they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right? You can't practice that no more. You gotta do things my way. Just like it happened with the Israelites with Antiochus, right? He said, you can't be circumcised. You can't observe your holidays. You can't have your gods. You're gonna worship my gods, or you're gonna worship me. You're gonna go to the gym naked. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Otherwise, I'm gonna kill you. And that's what they did. That's what you did. That's your people, man. So you oppress people, man. And then you got Herod. Oh, I'm a Jew. No, you ain't. You're a damn Edomite, man. Trying to fit in. Okay, trying to fit in. You know what I mean? Trying to fit in with people. No, bro, you're the devil. You can't be fitting in with us, man. But this is what's happened. Right? Esau's deceived the whole world so he can fit in and hide amongst the people to seem righteous. And if everyone knew that you was the devil, that you were the Edomites, man, no one would want to deal with you, man. That's just the truth. No one would want to deal with you because you got a judgment that no one else can be associated with, man. No one want to be associated with you when you got such a great judgment from the Heavenly Father. These other nations got their own judgment, man. But you got some next level judgment that anyone around you, man, is gonna get burnt. It's best to stay away from that boy. You're nothing but trouble. They won't want to have nothing to do with you, man. They won't trust you, believe you, follow you, be led by you. What, the wicked? No, that's a calamity waiting to happen. The Lord flooded the earth. That's a calamity waiting to happen, man. We can't be following you, man. Listening to you and your scientists and your facts, your truths and all this madness. Fact checkers. No, I can't be listening to you. It says, so therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, this family do I devise an evil, which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil. Right? I said, Most High got plans for the children of Esau, man. All right. It's Genesis 27 verse 40. It says, and by thy, this is talking about Esau, right? And by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion, which is now. You have dominion now. You still have dominion, right? You ruled over the earth. You ruled over the Israelites, over Jacob. Okay, you've had the people in slavery, and they still work for you. They still build your nation up. Now it's just one big plantation as opposed to small plantations. You know what I'm saying? Now we're just corporate. It's a corporate plantation, right? Working to make your elite rich. Because these peon Edomites, man, they're getting mad because they ain't rich. They ain't benefiting. They're losing their jobs. So they're angry. For those that are that work for less. Hey, what do you want them to do, man? They're coming from fucked up countries, man, where you've had your hand in fucking them up. Of course they're gonna want security. Hey, right? It says that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck, right? So the point being, them living by the sword, right? That is exactly how you've lived. And like I said, now these Edomites are being proud about it. Yeah, what we did was a good thing. We gave the world mobile phones and cars. You know what I mean? Trying to justify all the wickedness that they've done in the earth because it somehow benefited somebody, mostly, mostly the elite. you know, but because we had cars now, like everyone should be happy about it. We should be happy like millions of our people died so you could have cars. Yeah, great. Sounds like a great trade-off. But it's I mean, you're the guys that be making all these fucking sacrifices, man, blood sacrifices, because that's in your nature, man. To do all these mad ass rituals so you can get your shit off the ground. Make some mad ass sacrifice, and give it up to your idols, your gods, and so you get shit up and running, man. That's how America was built, of blood. But a city built with blood is only going to be destroyed, right? Bloody city. Oops. It's Nahum chapter 3 verse 1 says, "Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not." Right, so the noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing horses and of jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of the corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. Right, you went over there to Americas, and you damn near almost, genocided the Native Americans, man. Right, to leave them few in number, and leave them with little to no land, or land that's unusable. So you can hoard up the gold and all the different resources in America, at the expense of the natives that lived there, of the Israelites. And then what you go do? So after all that bloodshed, you're going to take a whole bunch of slaves from the Israelites from the west coast of Africa and put them on fucking slave ships and then bring them over to America just to work for you and to fucking torture, man. More bloodshed. Everything about America is bloody, man. It says verse 4, "Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favoured harlot, the mischief of witchcrafts that serve nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame." And for a long time, all this white guilt you've been you're mad about, right? Because it's being thrown in your face, all the wickedness that you've done, and you don't like it, don't want to deal with it. And now you're doubling down because you got guys like Trump in power now, and he's empowering you to be proud to be a white American and all this bullshit. Right? Not just American, just being white in general. Even though you've done a whole bunch of fucking crimes that you ain't paid for. It's the maddest thing. Because you'll get Jake. Let's say he do some crime spree, and he out there boasting and bragging about it, and you just think like he's an irredeemable fellow, man. He don't even care. He's not even a little bit remorseful. He don't deserve to be out. He deserves to be locked up. And that's exactly what's gonna happen to you, man. You're gonna get locked up, man. You're gonna get bashed around the side of the head, right, and put in chains, right, and punished. Like that's what you deserve. You don't deserve to get away with shit, right? And the Most High is gonna make sure that you don't. Okay. This is verse 6, "And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile." And this is why the nations are looking at you, man, just thinking you're like a piece of shit. Right? They despise you, according to Obadiah, right? "And I will set thee as a gazing stock." All right? It's Job 9:24. So the earth is given in the hand of the wicked. Right? Is the earth not in your hands, Esau? Or you so-called white people? Right? You're the wicked. "He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he?" If it's not the so-called white man, who is it? Like the so-called white man is always quick to point fingers at somebody else because he don't want to take no fucking blame. He want to take all the credit for shit, but none of the blame when shit, shit don't go his way. Right? But it's evidently you, but the Most High got a problem against you, man. Big one. In 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world. So we know who's in rulership. We know it's a so-called white man. And then by default, that means that's Esau. That's the easiest link up you can make without even making any other connections. Right? Esau is the end of the world. We're in the last kingdom as prophesied by Daniel. Right? The feet and the toes. Right? We're in that last kingdom. And you're the one that's heading it. Right? And this place is coming to its end. Right? So for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay, which represents Yahweh Shai, that rock that smashed the feet of the statue and brought the whole thing down. The everlasting kingdom. That's what it represents. Right? But you people, you so-called white people, are Edomites. Okay, you are the rulers at the end of the world. The last kingdom of wickedness. Alright, so be proud. Be proud, man. Good. Because the Most High is just going to increase the humility when it comes. Right? In Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23, it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? You're the oppressive force, that oppressive nation, oppressive people, right? That have been oppressing all these other nations, man, with your military might, with your financial power and influences. But you're going to be brought down, right? The thunder and the lightning is coming, man. There's going to be a thunderstorm tonight, or now. So how has Babylon become a desolation among nations, right? America is Babylon. Okay, that chief nation in the earth, right? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations, right? So you so-called proud Americans, man, your America is going to be destroyed. Right? And we're going to find out how righteous it is, how much God is with it. Because most are going to barbecue that place, man. And turn it into a lake of fire. To show everybody that the evidence is that was a wicked place. That America is a wicked ass place, like under Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what it's going to demonstrate. Just like we've been telling you. America's wicked, man. You Edomites are wicked. All right. Let's see. I'm going to read down to verse 26, right? It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord, right? You're not godly people. You've striven against the Lord. You're doing everything you're not supposed to be doing. Right? The Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of indignation, right? And he's had you make them. You're the one that set up the whole fucking arms race. You built the nuclear weapons and shit. Now everybody's got them. Everyone's, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. Like, these things didn't exist in the world until you got them. But the Lord's going to use these very same weapons to destroy you with. Right? And brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord God, Yahweh of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border. Open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly, let nothing of her be left. Okay, there ain't gonna be nothing left of America, man. And ain't nobody gonna live there no more. Nobody, ever again. And so we're gonna close out with Isaiah 14. And I'm gonna read from verse 4. Right? It says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Okay, America, the great oppressor. Right? How has it ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. Right? Because like I said, you've been an asshole to everybody in the earth, man. You've been oppressing everybody. You've been lying on everybody. You've been nothing but a hypocrite in the earth to everybody. Right? And so your judgment is about to arrive, man, and we're all gonna witness it. right? And ain't nobody gonna prevent it from happening, right? So the whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. They break forth into singing. It's gonna be a happy day ultimately, when you devils come out of power, all right? It said, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feather is come up against us. Help from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, okay, which represents the other nations, right? Even all the chief ones of the earth, it have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nation, right? Because the Most High is about to enter you into a battle royale, right? Fortnite style, right? World War III, okay? The Most High going to bring all the world's nation or world's armies down into the Middle East for a battle royale. You know, and you know you're gonna have your sides and stuff, right? You're gonna have the two main sides, I guess. You know, America and allies with Israel, right? And NATO, and then you're gonna have Russia and China and their allies together fighting one another, man. All right. Says that all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we, right? Because by the time Most High has finished you and the angels and Yahweh Shai, by the time they finish with you, man, you're going to be without power, zero power, just like the rest of the other nations. Because Yahweh Shai is coming to take the crowns, all the authority, all the power away from these nations, and you're going to be like everybody else, but worse, right? We're going to make sure it's worse. Okay. It says, thy pomp, which is thy pride, is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms will cover thee, right? Your pride is going to disappear, right? Because you're going to be in a fucked up place, right? You ain't going to be proud no more. These devils are becoming proud, right? But that's going to be put to an end, right? How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations, right? Which is showing you then this Lucifer is talking about is not the spiritual demon Satan. This is not talking about Satan at all, right? What we're reading about is the physical counterpart to Satan, okay? Which are these Edomites, you so-called white people, right? Who being called Lucifer means light bearer, because they are in this world the enlightened ones. They're the ones ruling and leading these nations to where they're going, where we are right now. They've led us on this path, right? And this is why you have groups called like the Illuminati. It means the Illuminati ones or the light bearers, right? That's what they do. The elites, that's what they do. They guide the world, in their image, on the path that they see, or what they want to do, what they want to achieve, right? So they said they control and manage all these nations and weaken them, right? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And these so-called white people at the forefront of that, wanting to transcend this human living, right? To be able to control reality, right? To live on a God level, right? And this is why he out there fucking with everything. All this science is out there trying to fuck with everything, man. So he can manipulate it how he wants it to. He wants to have power over the Most High's creation. He wants to have control over the people. That's why he's looking to give you the mark of the beast. Right? He wants power over creation. Okay? He wants to transcend the limitations of the human body. It's him that's doing this. It ain't nobody else. He's the one funding all this stuff. Because he wants to give the Most High the finger, man. It says, verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. You're about to go take a heavy fall, man. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made this? Is this the man? Okay, again, speaking of Lucifer, which is these so-called white people, these elites of Esau, right? Is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? Okay, doesn't not begin with America? Oh, mighty America with the mighty American army. Doesn't go back to America and the American dollar, the world reserve currency, how they can manipulate markets and hold nations to ransom, sanctions and tariffs, and is this not who's fucking up the world? Fucking up these nations, making them poor and shit. Of course it is. Right? So they shook nations. Right? Shake kingdoms, right? So that made the world as a wilderness, destroyed lands, destroyed places, Libya, Iraq, all these, Middle East is nothing but fucking potholes, isn't it? Like I said, the man had world wars and all kinds of things, man. Like, come on. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the houses of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast out thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, and the carcasses trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Right? You're not going to go out in no blaze of glory with no, glory or respect. No, ain't no one going to respect you and everything that you've done, man. No one's going to remember you, immortalize you, build a memorial to you, like, the great so-called white man, and thank you for everything that he's done. No, you're going to go down in shame. No one's going to appreciate anything that you fucking did, man, because you've done nothing but destroy people. Right? You act like, everybody should be grateful for everything you contributed to the earth. Fuck you, man. Ain't no one going to recognize you for shit other than being wicked and evil. Right? Bringing in shit into the world that really just destroyed people and served your own, served yourselves. Fucking thankful, right? This is verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, right? These younger generation Edomites think, that's just something that them older man should pay for. The ones that is in the grave right now. So no one can pay because they're already dead, right? So they think, the get out of jail free card. Oh, they're dead already. It's got nothing to do with me. And that's why the Most High works in mysterious ways, right? He can make you accountable, and he will, right? You're going to be made accountable, right? And I ain't going to go into the full details of that right now, right? But yeah, the Most High works in mysterious ways, right? And you can never escape judgment, no matter if you die, right? You can't escape judgment. If you ain't paid for the judgment, right, you can still pay. The Most High's got his ways, man. And so just know that you're going to pay for it. Even these younger generation Edomites, you're going to pay, right? Someone has to pay, right? And I'm pretty sure Esau, if you're in debt, you die in debt, man. I'm sure that debt gets passed into your family, the next generation. I'm sure it does, right? I don't think that debt gets wiped away. I'm sure it gets passed on to somebody else, some other relative or something or other, right? Well, it's just like that, right? There's a massive debt that you, man, can't possibly pay off, just like your national debt. You can't pay it off. Right? And so it's getting carried over. No one's forgetting about it. Most putting interest in that shit. Right? And that's why America is going to be destroyed. Alright? This is so prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. You ain't going to have no more cities left. You're going to have no more land to your name. You're going to lose everything, man. You ain't gonna be native to nowhere, bro. You're just gonna be a sojourner, a barbarian. You know what I mean? Just a nomad. You're just gonna be in a pit, right? You ain't gonna have no land to say that. Oh, I came from here. No, you came from a pit, right? You're an Edomite that came from a pit. You don't have no land. No other identity other than the fact that you were an Edomite. Right? You got no possession. You got no rights. You got no nothing. Right? It says, for I will rise up against them, the Lord, right? Saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name. Right? You're gonna have no. That's it. You're gonna be remembered for anything great. You're gonna have no name. Right? A remnant and son and nephew, said the Lord. Right? The Lord's gonna cut your whole nation off. There ain't going to be no more Edomites, okay, when all is said and done. Right? I will also make it a possession for the bitten and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. Right? America's going to be completely desolate. Ain't no one, going to be able to live there ever again. Right? The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And this is why it's a certainty, man. The Lord ain't changing his mind. The Lord doesn't change his mind. Right? It shall come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand. Right? So it's over. It's over for you Edomites, man. And like I said, all this proud to be an Edomite spirit you man have got right now. Right? You can stay there, innit? Right? Because when the judgment comes, man, you take full accountability, innit? But we know you're a damn bunch of hypocrites and that you deserve destruction, man. So don't be crying. Don't be crying, begging for forgiveness. Oh, we didn't know. I'm sorry. None of that is gonna matter. You are gonna get your ass kicked. Right? That's what's gonna happen, man. And we're gonna delight in every second of it, man, because you're being so fucking proud and boastful about it. Yeah, we're gonna be smashing your heads in the kingdom. Alright? So I'm gonna end it there. Lord willing, this has been edifying. And catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Until next time, I say shalom.